que les entrepreneurs...
Are the pictures ready so that we can continue with this great spectacle? Are we ready?
Are you guys ready? Very good. Nous allons donc passer...
Now, we go to the next pitch category in aquaculture. But before that, I will call on the members of our jury who will assess the pictures. There are three, and I would like to call them on the podium right now. Enos Masinde Waswa, Kenya Tech Hub.
I also invite Kali Ainov. Yeah, you're welcome on the podium. And Dr. Mika Nyaberi, CEO of Kenya Fishing Industries. Maintenant que les membres du jury sont installés,
now that our jury is seated, let's call on our first pitcher, Angela Odero.
vous avez 4 minutes. Can we try it?
Hello. Okay. I come from a fishing community on the shores of Lake Victoria. In my community, we rely on fish for our livelihoods and for food security. Supply of fish rests with the men, and we are left to process and sell that fish. Over the years, we have experienced a scarcity and very expensive fish. This has led to a myriad of problems. First of all, the vulnerable groups are exploited, particularly the women. Unstable market conditions prevail, and this is eroding consumer trust. Rio Fish is providing a way out. My name is Angela Odero. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Rio Fish. At Rio Fish, we recruit smallholder fish farmers. We invest in women in blue economy, providing them with seed capital and training so that they're able to engage in profitable fish production businesses. We also employ cold chain and aggregate fish from the smallholder farmers in our network, as well as from our own farm. We then process this fish and distribute it to the market. We distribute it to the market through outlets that are run and owned by women traders. We leverage technology for the efficiency of the value chain. So we leverage on data-led farming and also e-commerce to be able to expand our market. We have recruited so far 50 women groups and supported 600 women into profitable fish farming. Last month, we had 30 women from our first cohort harvest 7 tons of tilapia. We also employ 40 full-time staff, and 24 of these staff are women, most of them in management positions. Within our network, we have been able to produce tilapia at a significantly low food conversion ratio of 1.3 compared to 8 of beef. We, last year, were able to have revenues of $800,000 US, and our road to profitability is very clear. We are opening more outlets. We are increasing our range of value-added products. And in addition to that, we are looking at the export market and continuing to recruit people on e-commerce. Unlike our competition, we are creating holistic centers of excellence in Africa's fish value chain. In addition, we have invested in silkworm farming to be able to supplement the protein for our feeds. At Rio Fish, I lead a team of experts who have significant experience in aquaculture, in business development, and in strategy. Myself, I have over 20 years of experience in finance. So far, we have raised 1.5 million US dollars. Today, we are asking for another 1.5 million US dollars. And with this money, we shall be able to increase our production. In fact, we are going to double our production with that. We also will be able to expand our cold chain so that we can be able to significantly reduce post-harvest losses that most of the farmers, the smallholder farmers experience. We are also going to significantly grow our value addition offerings to the market, which will grow our margins significantly. We will also be able to employ at least another 40 staff, and our focus will be on the women who are underserved. I'm happy to say that our farm manager, our aquaculture specialist, and most of the women in leadership, most of the leaders in our organization are women. If you see and want to innovate, empower, and thrive, join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. It's been a pleasure listening to you talk about what you're passionate about, and it's a good thing. So I have two questions. One is on the competitive landscape. Just talk to us more about the competitive landscape. And then the second question is, seem to be doing quite a lot of things. Is there a particular thing that you can single out that this is your growth sort of area, especially with the 1.5 million you're asking? I know you talked about increasing margins, increasing your production, but you're also dealing with other things. So just single out which one is. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your questions. I think I'll take the one about the margins first. Now, we know that just fish, the fish we grow is tilapia. So fish sold as just fish in Kenya has very low margins, an average of 12 to 15%. So one of the things we're doing is focusing a lot on value addition. At the moment, we have products such as, in addition to cleaned fish, chilled fish, we also sell smoked fish, sun-dried fish, and we are currently developing other value-added products which will be in the supermarkets probably by next month. And these products are going to be able to give us margins of up to 40, 50%. That's where our focus is. And with regard to our competition, yes, there are very many players in the market. Aquaculture is very popular in Kenya right now. And all these players generally are just selling gutted and scaled fish or whole fish. So for us, the difference we are making is that we are selling fish. First of all, the main fish sold in Kenya is tilapia right now, and which is farmed and sold. So for us, what we are doing is that we are farming tilapia. We are working with the community to farm tilapia. And what that helps us with is to evade things like theft, because theft is a big problem for cage farmers. So with the community working with us, we are able to have community policing, because this is our project, not just a Rio Fish project. And then we are very actively aggregating from smallholder farmers, thereby creating market for them. And we have a list of value-added products. So we are not just selling tilapia. So unlike our competition, we are selling other products other than just tilapia, which is chilled. We're doing value addition on tilapia. We're also buying varieties like catfish, Nile perch, and creating other products.
Thank you very much, Angela. And It's nice seeing you here, actually surprised. But I would like to ask you, you've talked about silk farming. What are the quantities like that you are dealing with that will be able to supplement whatever you're using now for as source of proteins? So, like, what is your future on silk farm? How much do you intend? What is your target that you intend to produce so that it can meet your objective? And another question is that who are your competitors, and what is this that you are doing that will make you stand out against your competitors? I think let me leave it there.
Thank you very much for those questions. So on the silkworm farming, this is something we have very recently just gotten into. And why we took that approach as opposed to other options such as black soldier fly, which we are aware is being used as an alternative source of protein in feed, is because we felt that with silk farming, we'll be able to provide more opportunities for the community in which we work. Again, let me just repeat. One of the things we do is that we are very big on community engagement, but the end goal needs to be profit. We are not an NGO, and we are not looking to just get people to just help us. We want people to come there and make meaningful use of their time and be able to get something out of it. So why the silkworm is because we shall be able to sell the yarn so that we can be able to get returns. Not just, like black soldier fly, you just grow the fly and, the larvae and that's it. So we'll be able to get the silk, which will increase our revenue streams and also provide more opportunities for the people we work with, both the youth and the women. And then also, we know that there are very many farmers who are now beginning to get interested in silk farming, especially in our region. So we are looking to also, most of them are not fish farmers. So we're looking to also aggregate, the larvae from them when the silk farming process is done. With regard to the competition, I would not want to name specific names of who my competitors are, but like I said before, we are creating more products, value-added products to differentiate us from them and also to increase our margins. Thank you.
Thank you. I really like that you said that you are here to make profit, because at UNIDO we also think that businesses that make profit are more sustainable and will stay for much longer than just a short intervention. So maybe I missed, but I just wanted to know how long you've been in business. And then my question to you is, if you have one technology or one skill that if you and your colleagues are provided with will help you leap, which one would that be? Thank you.
Thank you very much. First thing, we've been in business for 10 years. So we started off as a different company and we were doing so many other things, including fish farming. Then about 5 years ago, we decided to form Rio Fish and move all the business, the fish farming business to Rio Fish. And then please repeat your second question.
Of course. If you can get from any of the investors here, in top of financial investment, one skill training or one technology that can help you really leap forward, which one would it be?
Because we are doing very many things, what I think, but it's something that can change, but I feel that right now, what can really, really help us move forward is efficient logistics. So if we are to be able to raise financing, efficient logistics will be able to help us scale our business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Angela. We really appreciate that, keeping time. Our next speaker is Gary Hall from South Africa, Homegrown with Love.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon now. My name is Gary Hall and I'm from Homegrown with Love. I have a tilapia fish farm in Johannesburg, South Africa. Over the past 4 years, we've been developing building and improving and eventually farming our own unique three-phase recirculating aquaculture system. We spent in excess of $1 million perfecting the system. Eventually, our system has now been able to produce a 600-gram plus fish from egg to plate in 7 months. Traditionally, a RAS system uses a central waterworks system, but our unique system allows that we are able to control each tank individually and create perfect water conditions depending on stocking densities and the fish sizes of each tank. Each tank is 100,000 liters, and it holds massive stocking densities of up to 7 tons of fish in one tank. Our hatchery is the only hatchery to have achieved a Blue Flag health and biosecurity status within our National Tilapia Association. We have been declared free of pathogens, viral, fungal, and disease. Biosecurity on the farm is paramount. Our innovations have been circulated around energy conservation because clean and consistent energy in Africa is a challenge. So we have developed a system where we are able to infuse oxygen into water using a tenth of the electrical power required by traditional systems that we see in Europe and the States and so on. Our hatchery is able to produce 40,000 fingerlings per month, and our production system is able to produce a 1 kilogram of fish in size, depending on the market that we are going to be selling into. I require $1.7 million to finalize our concept farm. This farm will produce 12 tons of fish per month and have an ROI of 20% over 5 years. It's a turnkey installation. So our hatchery will produce the perfect fingerlings. Our production system will produce our 1 kilogram of 12 tons of fish. We will have our own automated monitoring, sorting, grading, and harvesting system. We also have a humane slaughter facility and a processing facility. The processing facility will produce reconstituted products, so fish fingers, fish cakes. These can be sold into our local prisons using government initiatives that they've created in Operation Pakisa. We will also do all the way to a whole frozen fish. We will also have a off-grid solar solution, our own wastewater treatment plant, which will allow us to have a zero water exchange policy, and then also our own refrigerated cold chain. Sustainable aquaculture recirculating systems are required in Africa. Homegrown with Love has secured the concept and absorbed the risk privately through our own investment. What we are asking is that you will take this opportunity, invest in a blue future, and have no harm to the environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love the name, Home with Love. Is that the name of the company?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
It was a very small business when we started 8 years ago, and it's grown into where we are today.
Awesome. Just 2 questions. One is about the market, your obtainable and total addressable market. What does that look like in terms of numbers? And then the other question is, clearly the tech is well thought and it's working, but now looking at the unit economics on cost and revenue, do you need to produce at certain scale to really cover the cost of technology, because it's huge investment? So just tell us about your margins and at what scale will you obtain maybe bigger margins to actually make that 20%?
I'm going to try and answer your question. Just tell me if I'm going in a different direction. Okay. So the farm produces 12 tons, or will produce 12 tons of fish. We've sold locally throughout all our local communities within Johannesburg, and we have offtake agreements for all 12 tons for the future within a year from now. We've made the farm replicatable and duplicate the farm. So the idea behind all of this is to be able to expand without limits. Large farms can be built very simply by duplicating each step that we've currently got. Am I getting there?
So how many farms in terms of duplication are you looking at, especially with the 1.7 million?
So it's one farm.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what we do have in South Africa is 50% of this investment goes towards infrastructure. The other 50% is going towards fish production. So we need clean energy that is sustainable. We don't have that currently. And we also don't have a processing facility which we can utilize with that volume of fish. So insulation or infrastructure is half of that whole investment.
So thank you, Jerry, for that good explanation. Actually, the technology is very good. But only thing I want to know is what is the impact in community? What does your homegrown labs, how do they impact in the community in terms of maybe jobs? And then you also tell us the second one is the skills. You never really talked about how many people you have employed and what are the skills.
So over the past few years, we've used local people which is close by. We will actually be putting them on site so that they will actually be living there and be a lot safer for them. They don't have to live in the locations and so on. We also run an internship. So in the past, we've had a couple of ladies who have had aquaculture degrees. We've had a full-time vet from Mexico actually do her internship in fish farming here in South Africa. Our future will be local guys which will live on the property, and then the interns will be our specialists, if you want to call it. We have a lot of people, we have very little aquaculture farms that are successful within South Africa. So we have a lot of people studying, coming back with degrees, but nowhere to go. So the idea is that we will be able to impact those people with real life training, experience, and potentially that those people can become their own fish farmers. Thank you.
Thank you. I liked that you've considered all different elements of sustainability, the energy conservation, waste management, and the fish production. And thank you for the question. I was also going to ask about the community, and I think some of the duplicating can also help other communities, yes. Correct? But my question to you is the same question I asked asked just before. If you could have one skills or one technology to help your business to leap, which one would it be?
Money?
On top of it. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
You know, South Africa has a problem where we have failed farms over and over. So this is our third farm. First two farms were complete failures, following the traditional methods which everybody employs. You read the books, you read the stuff, and we fail. So then we looked at how do we design a system which is self-sustaining and that we can perfect, that we have built, not something that we've bought or put in. So the technologies and innovations have literally come from our own farm, and we perfected it to a working farm. There's always going to be more perfecting, more tweaking, more whatever. but the requirement, Gary, that we need from somebody else,
I'm sorry,
is very
time is up.
limited.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate. Thank you so much. And I like the stories, you know, anything fish can go on and on and on. You see, I'm dressed in fish. I'm a fishy guy like that. So I'm sorry, Gary. Yeah, but we'll have to invite our next speaker, Ria Jonah from Namibia. Help. Thank you. Stage is yours.
Good day, everybody. My name is Iria Jonah. I am from Cape Blue in Namibia. We are harnessing the blue economy to combat climate change with kelp farming. Did you know that every single day we emit about 100 million metric tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere? And just in case you are wondering, think of an annual emission of 22 million cars on a daily basis. This is a huge problem because CO2 traps heat, causing heat stress, biodiversity loss, and sea level rise. And we must come up with sustainable solutions that can support nature, provide social and financial returns, and of course, inspire change. And I believe that at Cape Blue, we are doing just that. We are cultivating this seaweed at scale as a solution. This seaweed can take up carbon 100 times faster than the rainforest and boost a lot of marine biodiversity, supporting about 800 plus species in the ocean. We can harvest it and produce products that support different industries such as pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and agriculture. How we do this? We culture the baby kelp in the lab, design the engineering structures on which the kelp grow, put this in the ocean, and the seaweed grow up vertically in the water column. And once it reaches maturity, we harvest only the top 10%, leaving the rest of the forest in the ocean to support nature. What we do with this harvested biomass, we produce what we call a liquid biostimulant, as you can see on the table. And this is really used in the agriculture industry to help farmers improve their yield and move them towards regenerative agriculture. To date, since 3 years ago, we have successfully proven our pilot scale with a capital investment of 27 million USD and have about 80 plus employees in Namibia. We have also installed 34 hectares of farms at the moment and just recently received our commercial license area of 6,400 hectares and are ready to commercialize. Our pilot factory is up and running. It can do 3,000 tons of biostimulant production on an annual basis. And we have secured offtake agreements of 25 million USD for the next 5 years. This product is registered in 10 plus countries and in progress for registration in 30 plus countries, so we can sell. We have also received awards, of which the Zayed Sustainability Prize under the Climate Action is one of them, which we received at COP28 last year, and are now part of the top 20 finalists with the X Prize Elon Musk Foundation. We are seeking for an equity investment of 78 million USD. 56% of this will be used to scale up our farms, scale up the commercial factory from 3,000 tons to 40,000 tons of biostimulant production, and procure vessels that will allow us to harvest at scale. 15% will be towards research and development and new product lines, and the remaining 28% is really towards mergers and acquisitions, operational expenses, and contingency to get us to EBITDA positive, where we foresee to become profitable in year 2026 with a profit of 39 million USD, and by 2030 with a profit margin of 650 million USD. Kelp farms align economic growth with sustainability. Therefore, we invite you to invest in them and join us on this journey to create a world inspired by nature, powered by giant kelp. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ilya. I've gotten it right. Ilya.
Iria Jonah.
Ilya Jonah. Okay. You're really doing great in terms of traction. These numbers are quite impressive. So thank you so much. I wanted just to understand one thing about the scale up. So what is your strategy in scaling up this business? Especially that you've mentioned you have coming from 6,000 to 40,000. That will take 56%. So that is in production, but in the capacity and in the markets. Just talk to me more about that.
Okay. So we have a scale-up plan for the farms and, of course, to produce the products. So at the moment, as I mentioned already, we are at 34 hectares. And we want already by this year to get to 70 hectares. And, of course, with an installation capacity of 14 hectares per month. And a team that, I mean, we all depend on climate. Climate always affects how much you can install. So we expect at least to be scaling up to 14 hectares per month for the next 12 months and going forward. And for us to do that, we really need assistance with installation vessels, and all these things cost money. And of course, when you put up the forest, we must be able to harvest it. And for us to harvest that, you can't harvest every day because of harsh weather. So we are designing automated unmanned solar-powered vessels that could go out in any weather conditions to harvest, bring the seaweed at the factory, and of course, that will allow us then to process in the factory that I'm also talking about, that we are moving from 3,000 ton, which is a pilot factory, on an annual basis, to a 40,000 ton annual biostimulant production on an annual basis. So basically, we are planning to scale up with these funds that we are seeking.
Okay, thank you, Jonah. And from Kia Blue, Kia Blue.
Sorry?
You call it Kia Blue or?
Kelp Blue.
Kelp Blue.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And as I listen to you, I get the feeling that it's quite an enormous project. And towards the tail end, you said that you want to automate it. And therefore, I ask myself, what is the impact to the community?
Okay, at Kelp Blue, there's really something that we like to not overlook. Something we call the 4 R's. We have return on social capital, financial capital, inspiration, and nature. So we try to make sure that all these are in balance. Just looking at social, for example, what you are asking, we are providing local jobs. We are staying in a coastal town. We are capacitating all these people because this is a new project. No one knows how to do this. So we are learning as we go, and we are training people locally. And at the same time, we make sure that we have a local spend. First spend in Luderitz, which is a coastal town where we are living in. Then if you can't find that item in Luderitz, you go towards the whole Namibia. After Namibia, you go to Africa, and of course, outside. And that's how we empower our people. That's how we make a social impact. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, but how do you impact generally to the local community around there? Just employment? There's nothing?
It's employment, it's local spend, and of course, we are locally involved with the community. We constantly engage them on what we do, educating them on protecting our ocean and really moving towards sustainable solutions. And I mean, if you are looking for an answer of we sponsor the local community with this, that's not what we do because we don't have the money. But when it comes to, of course, supporting students, education, we are really high and key on that. So we have master students, PhD students. We have set up a school in Luderitz that is really towards promoting ocean education and awareness, and just to make sure that we attract talent in Luderitz. And if people are being trained in Luderitz, they don't go out of Luderitz to go look for better schooling for their kids. Thank you.
I'll make it very short. How much percentage of your employees are women?
47%. We are getting there.
Merci, Iria.
Thank you, Area. The least we can say is that your impact on blue economy is palpable. Now we're going to give the floor to the next speaker who comes from Senegal and who's going to speak for 4 minutes making their pitch. He'll make his 4-minute pitch. Mr. Sao, you have the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we are in a crisis. We have a bulging population and resources are diminishing, especially fishing resources. For us, we are highly concerned in my country with this situation, given that I work in the aquaculture sector and we would like to be able to reproduce our resources. That is, we put a marine farm in a marine protected area. What does this mean? Currently, the latest FAO report has shown that aside from Africa, all the other regions of the world have witnessed a growth in aquaculture except in our continent. Hence, the need to have greater development of the sector. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. All we are trying to do is to introduce new fishing practices and aquaculture practices. Our method is integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. The advantage of this is that it combines co-production of all marine species, and to do this, the innovative factor of our project is to create living artificial corals from all seashells that are collected in the Senegalese coastal region. It is a 3-kilometer coastline, and we are going to create these artificial corals, and after a while seaweed will grow around these coral areas and it will recreate an ecosystem that will invite new sea life and a new marine ecosystem to invite all species within the ocean space. Now, floating cages that are part of the solutions that we have created. The food excesses from fisheries will be used as means of feeding other natural species, and crabs will also feed from them, as well as other species such as langoustines and fishing species. You will have seaweed that will also be used to produce organic fertilizer for farmers and for other users. In order to carry out the project that we have planned, we have a team that is made up of people with cumulative 40 years experience in aquaculture and in the blue economy space, as well as in enterprise management. What we have as studies, we have an environmental impact assessment that has been done, as well as a study that has been done by a government entity. We first need 1,200 hectares of sea land within the 12-kilometer square space that we have in our country, and we are going to put our farm on this within this marine protected area. We have only carried out one environmental impact assessment study that has been done in the country. We have the authorization to practice this new form of fishing activity within a maritime protected area. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was wondering what Because clearly it's very initial stage. What is the stage of your startup? At what stage is it?
Well, it's not yet a startup. It is a company that is growing. Crumbs, the Crumbs has been there since 2010. We have already produced about 10 million fingerlings for farmers, and we've done a lot of research and development on oceans that has been used as statistics for the National Aquaculture Agency in Senegal. And we also produce statistical data for other NGOs such as USAID and others who need it.
So given that this looks like a new project, have you figure out what needs to be validated in terms of if it's gonna be up? Have you validated any business model around what you're talking about in terms of also just business sustainability?
Yes. Well, we have a viable and validated business model that will create jobs and will also employ women, especially on processing seaweed. And in the artificial corals, you'll have 1,000 jobs that will be created through this. And this is a sustainable enterprise because we would just like to recreate a marine ecosystem as part also of restoration of the marine biodiversity ecosystem so that it will be self-sustaining in the long run.
Thank you very much. So what is your market uptake? And what are your markets? And then what is the composition of the team that you're working with right now?
Well, I would like to respond to the last question before coming to the earlier one. To carry out our project, we are looking at 3.5 million euros. 1 million will be part of the operation costs. Now, to come back to your question, we are targeting the entire sub-region, West Africa. Currently, we work in Gambia, Mauritania, and Senegal. We provide them with the fingerlings and other sea products. Within the ECOWAS region, the West African sub-region, that is our target market for fish. So that is about 350 million potential customers. And then in matters of calamari, shrimps, and langoustines, that is for European markets, who are we already in contact. And in terms of team composition, we have an expert for export markets who's worked previously in the sector in Europe and understands the European markets well. Our director has been in fish farming for 20 years and who knows transformation of fishing products and who is a leading authority in the country and is part of our team. In part of management, I am there, Abu Bekrin Sao. I am a financial administrator. I previously worked with the AU and UNDP as a programs officer. And so I'll also be in charge of financial development within this program and the project. Thanks.
Merci. Thank you. I was wondering again, what is the impact of women and youth employment? And also if there's anything except financial support that you might need in terms of skills or technology, what would it be?
Well, the impact for youth and women is significant, especially in the seaweed field that could employ women and youth. And apart from job creation, It can also be a value add for the fishing community to add onto their income. And for us, we're looking at the ecology and the innovation to ensure the economic development and empowerment of these peoples. And we would like to be the lead to help these people to fight against food insecurity and malnutrition and others. Thanks. Thank you, Abu Dekrin Sao. Francophone Africa has been well representative, and now we are going to end this category of pitches on the aquaculture category with a presentation by Mr. Charles.
Rwanda.
Hello, my name is Charles Moncheur, and I'm here to present you the company called Kivu Tilapia, which I founded in 2017. Okay, so we are located in Rwanda, and we are engaged in fish farming, close to DRC border on Lake Kivu, and the name Kivu Tilapia. So we are an integrated fish farm, which means that we are involved from the birth of the fish till the sales to wholesaler, which means we have breeders development section, we have hatchery, we have juvenile section, and we have growth system. As you can see, the growth system is on the lake cages. We are also quite experienced. We have been operating for 7 years, producing 750 tons of fish per year. That's roughly 20,000 fish produced and sold every week. We also employ 100 people, and we made revenue last year of $2.2 million. We've been also cash flow positive quite quickly after the creation of the company, and we remain so till now. Okay, so why fish farming? The idea is that the local fisheries in the region are not enough to sustain the local demand. So there has been a development of fish farming for the last past years in the region to come as a substitute. But when you look at the growth of population, when you look at the people willing to eat healthier, which means fish instead of red meat, we have an ever-growing demand, which leads us to want to develop from 750 tons per year to 1,600. Why this number? Because first, that's what we establish through the knowledge of the market, that the market can accommodate that without any problems, and not crash the sales price. And also that the maximum production capacity that we can deal with the existing structure that we have, the hatchery, the management, everything. The idea is to increase the sales without increasing the fixed cost too much. Okay, so I think this expansion could make this business even more robust, and I also would like to point out why I think our farm is quite special. First, our business model. So unlike farm at similar size, we deal with local traders. We don't do distribution ourselves. So we are integrated, but up to the production. Then we sell at the farm to wholesalers, and we find that the system is much more efficient. We saw that we could bring, added value through production, but that the distribution was already very efficient. So, we fit in the local landscape very, very well. Second, I would like to point on the integration. We are doing our own breeders development. So we have developed our strain of fish for the last 12 years now through our previous venture. And we sold over 1 million fish last year as juvenile to local farms, which is like our product very much. Third, I would like to say our location. We sell 90% of our fish to the local market within 5 kilometers from the farm. So it's very local, So for all these reasons, we are asking around $1 million, which is mainly working capital to develop the business because the infrastructure is already there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. I wanted to ask you've said you're asking for $100 million. $1 million.
Not yet, not yet.
All right. Kindly just you for the $1 million, what are you going to do with it?
So it's mainly working capital. It's a beautiful business we're doing. The problem is that the growth cycle takes like 10 months. So if you want to increase production, you need to prepay the feed for 10 months before you sell the fish, and you get, cash back. For example, we have like 400 tons of standing biomass each time, for a yearly sales now of 750 tons. So it means that we have to prepay that, and it's very, very cash consuming. So that's mainly, why we ask this money.
Thank you, Charles. Now, what is the impact that you have in the community around you?
Well, first, we employ 100 people full-time, which I think is great, in this region. The other impact, I would say, is the fact that we don't do distribution ourselves. We go through wholesaler. So we have lots of people, local traders, that, have a business now, like 3 times a week, they come to buy fish and sell it locally. That, has also increased some jobs, That for me, the job creation and the fact that we don't import, we produce locally is the biggest impact.
Thank you. How many people do you employ? How big is the group? And how many of them are women? Thank you.
So we employ 100 people, and we have 27% of women, mainly in admin section and juvenile. So we tend to promote women in this section because it requires a lot of care, dedicated care. Whereas the production, it's like we have to bring 8 tons of feed every day on the farm, on the cages. So it's much more, physique, and that's where, the men are coming.
Thank you so much, all the pitches. Thank you, judges, for that wonderful session. Before we proceed, I'd like to make an announcement. Just want to acknowledge the presence of Tana River County Governor, Dado Godana. Dado Godana, thank you so much for your participation. We really appreciate that. All right, thank you, jury. All right, so we'll now call upon the next set of jury to come and present. So thank you so much. I just realized that when you wear a fish jacket, you don't feel hungry. So, it's like I'm wearing and I'm eating it at the same time. So, really sorry. It's lunchtime. All right. Yeah. So, kindly let's proceed for lunch. You'll collect the vouchers at the door as we proceed, and then we'll be back.
Thank you, James. Chers participants, j'espère que vous vous amusez.
Dear participants, I hope that you've had as much fun as we have. Every time you see us speaking, we are learning, and James is also learning French from me. I hope that at the end of this, he can speak French. See you soon. Please leave your headsets in the room as you leave.